Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.
Welcome to The Natural Cook. I'm Anna Gershenson. Today we are jumping into cooking delicious, nutritious, and flavorful food that comes from Yotam Ottolenghi's cookbook Simple. Yotam Ottolenghi has been a very prolific cookbook writer. He's a wonderful chef, and he runs his empire with Sami Tamimi from London. But these cookbooks are beloved all over the world. And today we are going to be making crushed zucchini and also chicken schnitzel. And it's not going to be just simple chicken schnitzel. It's going to be seeded chicken schnitzel. Of course, always a twist for the flavor, for the crunch. All right, so starting with zucchini. We have here about 2 pounds of zucchini, and you want to have 3 large zucchini. You are preheating the oven to 425 degrees, and that's what's happening here. I'm going to trim my zucchini, and then it is going to go into a baking pan together with some herbs. So you want to cut zucchini in half lengthwise. Okay, just like that. And then you will cut each piece into about 2.5-inch piece section. Okay. So that will be like maybe three sections here, 2.5-inch pieces. All right. Because this one is so thick, I will cut this also to make sure that they cook evenly. Because if some pieces are going to be unproportionately big, then most of them will cook through, but the other 3 won't. All right. So now we are going to add the spices and the herbs. Basically, it's going to be spices later. So this is a teaspoon of dried mint. My dried mint is very popular in Mediterranean cooking, and of course, it's very good. And we are going to also add thyme, lots of thyme. So in order to get the thyme leaves, which I prepared in advance, you need a 1/4 cup of thyme leaves. You can do it like this. You see, just easiest way is to go from the top to the bottom of your stem, and then the end, just snip the end. And this is going to be a really good job if you have kids, or if you have your husband who doesn't have anything to do or is willing to help in the kitchen. This will be great to do some prep work, which is very, very valuable because that's what takes time. But this is really delicious. So I encourage you to invest your time. Okay, and so now we are going to also add some salt. Maybe a teaspoon of salt. Be careful, if your salt is too salty, then you want to reduce. Like I realized that some salts are saltier than others, so you don't want to oversalt. You can always add more. A little bit of freshly ground black pepper. Okay. And about 1/4 cup of olive oil. So our mix is ready. And let me grab the gloves, because I want my hands to continue being clean as I am going on to my next dish. And so that will come in very handy. At home, you can wash your hands over the sink. I don't have a sink here. So you will put all of these here and toss them so that everything is evenly coated. And then you will want to prepare your dish. So take a dish that is not too big, because you want your zucchini to be in kind of even layer and a little bit overlapping, but not spread out with a lot of room left behind. So this seems to be a dish that would do the job. Okay. So after everything has been coated, you will put your zucchini into this baking pan, scrape out all the beautiful herbs, okay, and position it facing up. It can overlap a little bit, but make sure that they face up. And you will put it into your 425-degree oven for 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, you are going to pull it out, and you will add some unpeeled garlic cloves. You'll use a whole head of garlic. So I'm going to stick it in and put it to bake. All right. So now our head of garlic is ready. And we will just separate so that when the zucchini is ready for that infusion of another ingredient, we will have our garlic ready, waiting for us. Of course, at home, you have the luxury of having the time. I have only half an hour that I have to fit all my activity in, so you have to think on your feet. All right. So let's put it here. Our garlic will be ready right here. We'll put it separately into a bowl. As you can see, I have everything here, my mise en place, set up in front of me, and I recommend that you do the same thing at home, because when you start cooking, you want to have everything at hand, and you don't want to start running around. All right, so now these are the herbs that I prepared that will go into zucchini when it's already done. So the convenient part of this dish is that you can actually do the cooking and smashing of the zucchini in advance and leave it in the refrigerator for the next day. And then when you're ready to serve it, and you can serve it alongside your fish or chicken like we're going to do today, or it can be just part of meze on your table. So now we're going to the next dish, which is the schnitzel. So for the schnitzel, I will grab some more gloves, because what you want to do is, first of all, you want to prep your seeds and the flour and panko crumbs. I used whole wheat panko crumbs. You can use white if that's what you desire. I try to use whole wheat whenever I can. So you need like 4 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I already washed them and dried them. And so now the only thing that we will have to do is just flatten them to 1/2 inch and then separate them into strips. But before I do that, I want to show you what I'm using for the coating. So these are sesame seeds. You can have combination of black and white, a little bit of black, like maybe a couple of tablespoons, and 6 of white. I didn't, so I have the whole thing here. So you also want to have about 6 tablespoons of sunflower seeds, and you want to have them roughly chopped, because if they are going to be whole, then they are not going to be blended really properly together with your mix, and you want it to be kind of a crushed mixture, kind of more or less uniform. So that's what you will be doing. And then the next seed that you are going to use is coriander seed, and you will need to crush it as well. And so coriander seed is going to be convenient to be crushed when you put it into a little baggie, and then you can take your pan and just bang it a little bit, and they will get crushed. So another ingredient you will add to your panko crumbs, which are right here prepared, 1 1/3 cups of panko crumbs, together with a teaspoon of salt. So he's not salting the chicken, but he's putting salt into the flour mixture. The flour here that the chicken is going to be dipped into is has 1/4 teaspoon added salt. So that's about 1/3 cup of flour. So we're going to see how it tastes, because I usually like seasoning my chicken before I cook it, especially I actually like even seasoning in advance, but this time we are going to see how it is going to taste. So let's put it here right away and crush our seeds. So we have the pan. Let's see how it works. Okay. Actually, it works well. You can use a smaller pan. I just didn't have a smaller pan, but definitely will be more convenient to use a smaller pan. Okay. All right. And half a teaspoon of cayenne. Cayenne is really spicy spice. And a teaspoon of turmeric. And let's add this, and this is done. Okay, so now we are going to go to our chicken. And the chicken, and I'm going to start preheating my pan. All right, so make sure that you don't that you don't use the same board cutting vegetables that you are going to eat raw after you did the chicken. So be very careful. So we will take this and cover it. And again, I'll use the pan, not the hot one, so that your chicken will be flattened to about 1/2 inch thickness. Okay, and we'll put more. All right. Okay. All right. Looks good. Okay, so now we'll cut it into strips. So the strips will be, about this size. You can decide what kind of strip you want. Like this looks good to me. They will be like kind of chicken fingers. Okay. And when you make it for your kids, instead of having it just in crumbs, but having all the wonderful seeds there as well, I think that you will teach them how to learn to eat flavorful food and also to get nutrients that comes with it. Okay, so now we will mix these together so that it's ready. And the next step is preparing the egg. We'll just whisk the egg. And then the procedure is very simple. Let me put this away. Okay. Put it here. So it's going to be dipped first in flour and then in egg, because once you dip it in flour, then egg will be able to cling to the chicken. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to accomplish. All right. So let's move this here. Okay. I'll take another one. Okay. All right. So we'll take 2 eggs and just whisk them. And then you want to align your dishes so that it would be convenient for you to go from one dish to the next. And you can add like a little pinch of salt here as well. Okay, so now we will put good amount of avocado, grapeseed, sunflower oil, whatever you prefer. Like maybe 1/4 inch thickness. Make sure that this is really heated up, because you want the chicken to go into a hot oil. Not too hot, but hot enough. And you also want to have a plate covered with paper towel, because once chicken is ready, you will want to put it on paper towel to drain. Okay, let's increase the heat like that. Okay, so now we'll go like this. Dip it. Okay, and cover. So make sure that everything is coated. You can even put it into, you can put your flour into a little plastic bag if you want to. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just checking. I see that the oil is beginning to shimmer a little bit, and this is what I like. I want to see some action. Okay, so we are coating it. All right. And putting it on the skillet. All right. Can you hear how it's sizzling a little bit? That's a good sign. It means that it's ready to cook. So with zucchini, what you have to do with zucchini is after 15 minutes, you are going to add the garlic and then cook for another 15 minutes. So what you want to see after the zucchini has been there for 15 minutes with the garlic, altogether 30 minutes at 425 degrees. So at that point, you want to actually put it into colander over a big bowl or in the sink and put it to drain, because as you know, zucchini is full of water. And so you want to drain that water. So you want to let it sit there for about half an hour. You can press a little bit to let that that water out because you don't want to have any water there once you're ready to make the dish. And I already did it at home so that we don't have to interrupt the show. So I will show you what it looks like after it has cooked. The only thing I'll have to do is to remove the skin from the garlic cloves. Okay, so see, it's cooking nicely. The heat is not too high. So let me put all of this here. I can finish it later. And move it away. Take off my gloves. And move away the dirty cutting board, and I can shift all of this here for now and use a clean board. Okay. All right. So we'll use this board here. And in the meantime, watch your chicken because you don't want to burn it. You see when it's browning, and also pay attention how on the edges you see that the meat has started cooking. So you flip it. You see how the meat that is not covered here, that the color changed from pink to white. So you know at this point you can flip it. All right, and this one definitely is done a little bit darker than I would like. Okay, looks good. It's going to be definitely very, very crunchy. Okay, all right, so while our chicken is cooking here, we are going to go to zucchini. So first of all, when zucchini, before you are ready to serve the zucchini, you also have to have some herbs that go into the finished product. And that will be mint as well as dill and lemon juice. These will be three things that will go into finished zucchini. So the mint, you will have 2 tablespoons of mint, chopped mint, fresh mint, and then 1 tablespoon of, or 1.5 tablespoons of chopped fresh dill, and a tablespoon of lemon juice. So that you can have already chopped and ready in the refrigerator. And once your zucchini is smashed, you just add this and serve. Okay, so we'll take out our garlic that nicely cooked, and it's going to be really, really yummy. I absolutely love garlic that has been cooked in its skin. You can do the whole head, or you can separate like here in this recipe, and it is definitely going to contribute a lot to this dish. Okay, looking, yes, some more are hiding there. At the same time, I want to make sure that we do not get overcooked chicken. So let's see. Okay, so this chicken, I'm going to turn it off, and I will finish the rest of the chicken later, but for now I'm removing it. And it looks very nice and crispy and crunchy and appetizing. So we will put it onto our paper towel lined pan dish. All right, and set it aside. So we'll put it here, and then we can move it. All right. Okay, now let's quickly remove these, And then we will just smash. We will just smash our zucchini. If you see that there are some things that could be harder parts of zucchini that didn't cook through completely, what you can do is just chop it. You can just chop it with a knife just to make sure that they are all processed. See, this is the liquid that I got from my zucchini. So let's move it here. All right. Let's get rid of this. Okay. So now we can just smash it on the cooking board together with garlic, or you can quickly chop it up. It's very convenient when it's just sitting on a cutting board, or if you have a potato masher, that would be a good thing to do, to smash it with a potato masher. Okay, so our zucchini is smashed. And now we will just move it here. Add our herbs and lemon juice. And just put it, and then you will put it here, and your chicken on top, and some cut lemon slices, and you have a beautiful dish that everybody will enjoy. Thank you for watching.
Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.